Hi everyone. Whoa! That was almost really bad. You see that deer like beelining it for me? That might have even been an elk. Anyways, welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Driving with Broke. I think we'll leave that in there. Hey, I had a conversation with a coworker this week, and I thought I'd recreate that conversation with you guys here now, and just entertainment value. And I'm talking about sound money. This young man strikes me as intelligent, but I don't know if he's ever thought about sound money before. So I asked him, I was like, hey man, you ever able to save any money out here on this job? He's like, yeah, when I can. So it's like, all right, cool. And let me ask you, are you saving that in cash or in the bank? Like, what are you doing with it, man? Like, are you buying something that's gonna increase the value over time? Like, what's your savings plan? He's like, oh, I just save it and put it in the bank, man. Just saving it up like that. It's like, okay. Yeah, so you're stacking some cash. Cool. That's cool. It's very liquid. I was like, well, are you planning on saving it for the long term? He's like, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I told him, well, that's cool. Maybe you should think about saving and allocating part of your holdings for long-term storage or long-term savings. Start planning for the future. And he's like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. I was like, well, how would you do that? I was like, just cash. I was like, okay, well, let's get started on this. Let me ask you a question. He's like, yeah, well, if somebody asked you to borrow $100 today, but they can only pay you back in a year, and they're only be able to pay you back $90, would you do that? He's like, I guess, well, maybe it depends if they really need it. I was like, well, no, they're fine. They're just asking to borrow $100. He's like, oh, no, I'd never do that. That's stupid. I was like, all right, well, cool. So that's kind of what you're doing with the U.S. dollar right now, with the way inflation is, with the inflation high like this. A year from now, your $100 is only going to buy $90 worth of goods that you can buy today for $90 with the same $100 bill. So, oh, really? I was like, yeah, think about it. Year over year over year. 3 years ago, did $100 buy you more or less stuff? He's like, well, yeah, it'd buy you a lot more. I was like, yeah, just look at gasoline. When somebody was an officer, it was down to like $1.89. And now it's like $4 a gallon. So it's like, it's doubled. It's like, yeah, there you go. After 3 years, you almost lost half your money. Too bad you couldn't have just saved all that in gasoline. He's like, yeah, you got a point. It's like, all right. So that being said, the U.S. dollar, as it sits right now, is in a great long-term holding of storage of value. It's really just, it's not right now, unfortunately. The way the inflation is, it's just, you're not going to save any money long-term like that. Bunny! Hey, another bunny. Oh, not another bunny. There's lots of bunnies on the road. Oh my gosh. So, sorry guys. Anyways, he said, well, how would I do that then? What would I store it in? I was like, well, I guess real estate's one of them. He's like, oh yeah, you can definitely do real estate, but I told him, well, there's another bunny. I told him I wouldn't do that like that because of liquidity. If you needed that funds, you needed access to that fund and be able to pull it out and use it in an emergency, it's going to be extremely difficult to sell that property or get a mortgage on it. It's going to take you at least 30 to 60 days, maybe 90 days, right? So, that being said, if you're going to hold long term, that's great, but if you have any kind of emergency come up, you got to have that plan for that too. So, okay, yeah, that's a really good point. So, that being said, I was like, well, I'm not telling you to do this. I was just suggesting it. It's another option. I told him, think about silver and gold. It's a good store of value over the long term of time. And I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to have somebody else tell you, because he's an Apple user. I told him, ask Siri, what's a better investment over the long term, gold or silver? And he asked Siri the question. Siri said, whatever.com says that gold gold on average for the last 100 years has gone up 4.5% annually, and silver has gone up 3.5% annually. I was like, okay, well, yeah, there you go. It was the last time you went to the bank and you saw a savings account available at 3.5 or 4%. He said, I've never seen that. It's always 0.01, like non-existent savings interest. I was like, that's right. So it's not a very good way to store your money over there either. So the money that you have is going to depreciate, and you're not going to get any interest on it. So to hit two birds with one stone, just consider, silver and gold or some type of appreciating asset for the long term, and make yourself an allocation for long-term savings, so you're not just all your eggs are in one basket. He's like, all right, I will think about it. And he went on his way and he did his thing. So that's my challenge for you guys today. Get the people around you to start thinking about sound money. Sound money being something that's going to hold its value over time. Well, anyways, guys, I think I better get off this phone and concentrate on the road. We got bunnies, deer, and elk all over the place. Until next time, guys, keep stacking, stack 'em high.